First it was radio for me, then 8-track tape players and phonographs. Then we went to cassettes, then we went to CDs, 200 carousel CDs player, then we got digital and streaming, and now we've got it all. My first favorite band was ZZ Top. I went to see them. They were my second concert, and I was a junior in high school. My first band I saw was Johnny Cash in fourth grade at the Jackson, Tennessee Civic Center. And after the show, I got to go backstage, and I shook his hand. I looked up, man was in black clothing, and he looked like a sequoia tree. And my mom was working on the board for the Civic Center, so we got to go backstage. That was impressionable. I mean, I love some of the Beatles songs, but more Stones guy. I like a little bit more intensity in the rock and roll. So I got on the bus back in '83. I was in freshman in college. Went to my first Dead show in Atlanta, and was hooked on it. Started listening to them earlier than that, junior in high school. But just kept following them. Saw them 55 times before Jerry died. And of course, through the iterations of the Dead and Further and Dead and Company, I've seen all those shows a bunch. Just the scene, the people. I'd never have seen a fight at a Grateful Dead concert. And the people are friendly, loving, cool, hip, understand what life's about, and they're there to have a good time, and it's all about the music. It really is. And they're just a phenomenal band that has such a culture that's followed and that will continue to live on after they're all long and gone. My favorite Dead show, I would say it would be Virginia Beach, 1984, 85. Went there with a bunch of college friends from Ole Miss. Drove over and stayed the weekend at the Holiday Inn on the beach, right where the big ships come in and out of the military base. So you're watching jets fly over. We're out there flying kites during the day and going to the parking lot, shakedown street scene every day for 3 days. That was a fun time. And stayed in tents. We stayed in RV. The first year they had a lot of RVs on the mountainside. That was a lot of fun. We did that for 3 years. And then staying in the condo with you, that was fun. It was always a varied weather experience at Mount Hunter Mountain, New York, but a great festival. So many bands that I'd never heard of that I heard there for the first time that are now, on the charts, that are just kicking ass. And you're seeing them in a tiny little venue. Wonderful setup. Yeah. I mean, I love some of the late night, burn the energy off EDM in the fog, like EOTO. Big Gigantic was wonderful. This little venue inside when the weather was bad, Scott Sherrard playing in there. And then out on the big stage, and I had the big stage and the littler stage next to it. They would flip-flop back and forth until the main show at night. And so it's just great walking back and forth to see the different bands. Just some wonderful acts. Abbott Brothers was awesome. Alabama Shakes, first time I ever heard or seen of them. Sister Sparrow, Dirty Birds, Robert Plant. Widespread Panic was wonderful there. DSO had a good couple of sets. I'd have to say it was my older brother. He's 2 years older than I, but just a year ahead in school. So I always hung out with him and his friends. And not that I didn't have friends in my own grade, but I had 2 grades to hang with people. And a lot of their influences early on, it was heavy rock and roll, Southern rock, ZZ Top, Charlie Daniels Band. Then I got into heavy metal in my senior year. A lot of heavy metal. Had a bunch of metalhead friends. We also went to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest concert. That was a wonderful experience as a senior in high school.
About Chicago.
Chicago, I saw them when I was a senior in high school. We grew up in Jackson, Tennessee, West Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee at Mud Island. Chicago was playing. I took my girlfriend. I was a senior in high school. It's great. You go out on a tram onto Mud Island in the middle of the Mississippi River, Shell Amphitheater, and Chicago's got just this big booming sound when you're out in the amphitheater outside, and it just blew me away. And I've listened to their music ever since. Growing up, I was a Deadhead, big Grateful Dead fan, and for years, my one of my roommates in college, he moved out to Seattle. I moved on. He just kept telling me, you got to check out this band Fish. So finally I did in 2011, went to the Madison Square Garden to the New Year's Eve show with my wife. She had a migraine at the time, so that was tenuous. Great seats on the floor at the corner of the soundboard, and was completely flabbergasted by the amount of sound those four guys could pump off the stage. My wife, she's not a Fish fan, but you're either going to love them or not. And even people that don't love them like some of their songs. I've seen them now 56 times since 2011, and follow Trey Anastasio band, follow Mike Gordon. Just got immersed into it and love it. High energy, great. Yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival was high school. Those Southern rock. I had a lot of friends from Louisiana. I went to Ole Miss, so I was down in the deep South. And CCR was just kind of a staple of the household, or the dorm room, or the apartment room, rock and roll scene. Just some really good lyrics and good songs.